Good evening, this is Dr. Moore, and I'm here tonight to give you a little orientation on your country group project. So you start off really with the idea of the group project is as a team to work on starting a business in a foreign country. And so for example, if you were part of the Team India, your team being the country of India, you would choose industry and business to start up or to develop in India. You could take Krispy Kremes or you could take Chick-fil-A. Either of those or any other industry, I would suggest that it would be an industry that at least one person in your team has some professional experience in. So if one of your team members has worked for Chick-fil-A, that would be a good one. But really it can be anything from sports camps to self-defense or to gyms to food or whatever in that country. But your whole team has to agree on what industry. Now your project, at the end of the project, you're basically making a recommendation to the country, to the company, if you think or through your research that the research points to yes, starting a business in that country, or no, not going ahead and starting. Let's take a look at the grading system. So there are two parts. One, the project itself, and then the second part is the report or the presentation. The first part is the project report. So in the project report you have the information being well organized, and that's 30 points, 4 sections in the program in the project, and I'll give those later. But you have not only the organization being well organized, but also comprehensive information, the data and the conclusions being supported. And here this is really important to have references to what you're presenting. And so this comes about by doing some research, and you want to prove this to me by putting references. So the last slide in your presentation really is a reference page, and you should have at least 10 references that are listed there where you get your information from. But that's the grading, is the organization, how comprehensive it is or detailed, and then do you have support for your data and your conclusions. The second part is really the presentation, the visual aids, and this is either maps or charts, graphs, pictures. Maps, you can find these at CIA.gov, and they have a lot of information. You can grab some maps and charts. The charts, I would suggest Hofstede. You can grab Hofstede and do the comparison chart between your country and the US and look at some conflicts there. And then finally the narrated presentation. This is with PowerPoint, but if you use a Mac you can do any other type of video presentation, and if you want to put it on YouTube, that'd be fine, and send me the link. But the whole idea is that you would have a visual and audio presentation of your paper, of your project. So let's get started. There are 4 sections. The first section is the kind of the most general, and that's about the country. So if we take, for example, India, you would take the country of India, and you would do a general country profile. You want to talk about how many people are there, where is it in the world, what kind of government does it have, the religious background, all those details that are really important to know about when you go and work in that country. Then you want to give Hofstede's cultural background and the management matrix. This is exactly like your Google case, and so when you do your Google case, you're doing the same type of things. You also have business do's and don'ts, and for that you just go online to your Moodle page, and the 7th link from the top you have websites, international websites that are really important. And there's about 30 links there. And you can use those not only for the business do's and don'ts, but you also can use it for marketing research. Finally, the area of cultural conflict, you could probably take a look also at Hofstede, just like in your case where you compared the two cultures. So the United States and in this case India, you could do the chart and talk about the differences in collectivism and individualism, how that would play out. The second part would be marketing research, and here this is really important to look at the industry details and metrics. So what you would do is, for example, with the Chick-fil-A example, that's in the restaurant type business. So you would go and find research that would give numbers about how big is that market, and what does that market look like? Is it just high-end restaurants, or is there fast foods in India? And so you would do that type of research to find out, is it a growing industry, and especially where you're going to be, where your business is going to be, what does that look like? You can search Google. Really the best thing to do is get access to the library, and some of the librarians can really help you. But also I've put some links, that YouTube little tutorial about how to use Hoovers is very helpful. So a company, you can put a company in there and do a search in Hoovers. It not only gives you information about the company itself, but also about that industry and some facts about that. So that's a very helpful tool to use. Competition, you can also put, once you find some of the main competitors, you can put their company names in Hoovers and search them as well. That's interesting because Hoovers looks at not only US companies but also global companies, so you can find some data that way. The third part, the third section, is the operations, and this is where if somebody in your team had experience with Chick-fil-A, if you use that, you would explain how there was a licensing agreement or franchising agreement. Also that the whole store would basically have to be shipped to India and built. Then you would have to figure out how to get all the raw materials there, and you'd also have to figure out how to train the people and hire people. And so that really, the operations showing kind of what are the basics of the business, the basic elements of providing the product or service. For Chick-fil-A, it's providing both the product, which would be the chicken sandwiches and food, and then the service would be the dining experience. HR profile is referring to the American coming over. So would you bring everybody over to working in India, or would you only bring the top management or the middle management? And so that's just really trying to figure out how are you going to deal with training, and who are the Americans that are coming over, why, etc. So thinking through the expatriates. There's a chapter on that, and so that's a little bit towards the end of the semester. And the same with number 4. The fourth section has the entry strategy. So entry strategy also is a chapter. This is very important about, are you going to come in and are you going to partner with another company, or are you going to come in alone, or are you going to acquire another company? If you partner with other company, is it going to be a joint venture? Is it going to be something else? If you're going to come over by yourself, are there laws for foreign direct investment in that country? Can you actually own 100%? So you need to find out some of that information and make a suggestion about how to come into the country. And finally, the fourth part of The fourth section and the last part of the entry strategy would be assessment macro risk. So this is looking at is there a stable political environment? Are there risks with military or terrorism in the area, or even in their own country? Is there a problem with inflation? Is there a problem with unemployment? All these macro type of risks that impact running of a business. And so those are the four sections, and really I just point you to some of our best research tools, and here's a link you can go to that I put on Moodle with all those websites that I collected. Gert Hofstede's very helpful, and then the CIA Fact Book is fantastic in having a lot of information. Thank you very much, and look forward to seeing your presentations online. God bless.